Hey. Hey, welcome back, everyone. I'm Christian and I'm here with my lovely co host.
Paula.
Hey, Paula. So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Today, we're talking about a topic that I think we're all familiar with dealing with negative people.
You know, the ones who seem to have a negative spin on everything.
That's
Those
right.
energy drainers,
Energy vampires.
energy vampires. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all have them in our lives, and they can be friends, coworkers, and even family members. Yeah.
Especially those family members that,
Yeah, that's a tough one to navigate through because, friends you can like go without seeing for a while or maybe just
yeah.
completely getting rid of friends, but family sticks around. It's a tough one. It's like how navigating through that.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that, about the different types of, who these energy drainers are and why they do it and the kind of impact that it has on you as a person that's trying to do good things for themselves. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about the different types of energy drainers.
Yes. So, yeah, let's talk about the different types of energy drainers we might encounter. We got family members, and I feel like with family, a lot of them, they come from a place where they worry about the choices that we make, or maybe they feel fearful that, we might just, that something bad could happen to us. And then they feel like part of their way of expressing their concern is by sharing that negativity, or at least saying, or at least giving you the scenario of what can go wrong with your plan, right?
Yep.
What's an example? Like what's something that you've come across in your life, Paula, that
Well, I feel that family, the negative members in your family,
we're not calling
most,
anyone out, okay? No.
I'm not gonna say who mine is, but they are constantly everything that you do, they have this negative output. Like there's always something negative that they have to say about anything that you're doing. And like you said, I don't think it comes from a bad place. I think it sometimes, well, sometimes, not all the time. Just because they're family does not mean that they want the best for you.
That is true.
But if it's somebody close, like perhaps, your mother
Yeah.
or or a sibling or somebody that you trust, that you talk to, and they have something negative to say, sometimes it is out of worry or that they don't
Right.
want you to experience the mistakes that they've experienced. But you have to be careful also who you share like your goals with, because everybody's different. So
Absolutely.
something that it's good to listen and to hear other people's stories, but sometimes people experience different things because of who they are or the situation they were in that moment. So sometimes the worry is useless because that doesn't, whatever you're going to do, the same thing is not going to happen to you. But it's good to hear the stories and to know and just not feed into the negativity, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the
But
part that's really tough because if we're talking about from the perspective of someone that like I'll just give you a scenario here. I want to leave my stable and cushy job and I want to become a massage therapist, right? Nothing wrong with being a massage therapist, by the way. I at one time I thought about being a massage therapist in my life. But I
see
remember
that.
yeah,
I see that.
yeah. I like very physical jobs. I can't help it. Like it's the thing. And oh yeah, and don't let me even tell you about like the time I wanted to be a firefighter. That's another. Did I tell you
I
about
see
that?
that too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
that too.
Totally. That was totally. Yeah. I anyway for another time. But I remember sharing this with at the time with a family member who
Mhm.
shall remain nameless, and
Mm.
they were looked at me like, huh, you're gonna, why would you do that? And at the time, I think I was already 33. And they were like, that's kind of late, right? To be a firefighter? And I remember a couple of things happened out of that. I remember feeling kind of bummed because I was like, well, damn, they had a lot of nerve kind of like basically telling me that I'm too old to do that.
At 33, geez, what's wrong
At,
with these people?
at 33, that I was too old to do that. And also, that and I feel like this part right here was out of fear. They were like, well, what if something happens? What if you get hurt? What if you get burned? I'm like, well, that's kind of the risk that happens with being a firefighter. But also, it felt like their feedback was not even welcoming. They weren't even entertaining the thought. They were just immediately like, nah, you
Shutting
can't
you
do that.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
putting me down. And so, well, I can tell you right now, no, I did not become a firefighter. I ended up the course of my life, obviously changed, and then I ended up, meeting my husband, and made different career choices. But whatever it was at that moment, I knew that I was ready to make some type of change, and I had to shut down the negative criticism. Eventually, I did, but in the beginning, everyone was giving me every reason why I should not do that thing. So,
No.
yeah.
Well, I think that, looking back now, because we talk a lot about reflection, looking back at a lot of the things that I didn't do or that's taken me so long to accomplish, it's been because of that, because I've been around so much negativity and, people that maybe some of them were trying to, keep me safe or keeping me from making mistakes that they've already made. And then there's some people that just were doing it because they didn't want to see me succeed.
Right.
And you don't realize it because it's people that you care about or that you think that they care about you, or maybe they did genuinely care about you, but they're so negative and you don't realize it in the moment. And then you start making, these changes to all your goals and you don't realize it. And it takes you 10 years and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have listened to them. But you didn't realize that you needed to move away from this person. Maybe not take them out of your life completely, but not share your goals with them, not share what you want to do so they don't bring you down.
You bring up a good point about, sharing your goals with people. So, of course, you're excited about the goal, right, that you're starting. And so naturally, you feel this natural sort of like this excitement, and
Energy.
you want to share it with
Yeah.
your friends, you want to share it with your group. And some people are welcoming, of course, but then, there's some of those that you could tell that are a little more reserved, and they don't say anything or they say something negative, right?
Yeah.
But thinking about like people that it feels almost weird to think that friends would be envious of us, right? We're all friends with each other, that we all want the best for each other and the intentions are there. I never think, like, for me, if you tell me like, hey, look, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start knitting full time, I'm gonna be so freaking happy for you, and I'm gonna just cheer you on. And I'm gonna every time I talk to you, I'm like, "Hey, how's the knitting going?"
That's something I would say though. That's
But
uh,
it sounds silly, but that's the point. It's kind of like it when you think about like, huh, the people that are you realize that are envious.
yeah.
How do you deal with people that are envious that are in your, I guess, in your, if they're not in your immediate circle, they're definitely within your circle. Like,
Even if they're an immediate circle, which would mean a family member, you
yeah,
do, and you can't really take a family member completely out of your life. What you do have to do is learn to find these people, to single them out.
to single them out.
You have to learn how to identify the energy drainers,
Got it. Yep.
especially the ones that are so close to you, like family or even best friends or friends that you thought were best friends. Like you need to learn how to identify them in order to make that change. If it's somebody you really care about that you can't completely take out of your life, then you know that you have to have a break from them. So, stop sharing so much with them because that negativity is getting to you and it's going to stop you from reaching any of the goals that you want or from succeeding at anything. You're having these setbacks. You don't realize that sometimes it's the negativity from other people that's,
Yeah.
pushing you to have these setbacks. And then the most important from all the negativity that you could possibly encounter is yourself,
Yeah.
because you sometimes have the self negativity,
The
the
critical, yeah.
self, you know,
Self-critical.
and sometimes you're your own worst enemy.
It's true.
But so it's important to identify where this pessimism is coming from this, if it's coming from you, if it's coming from family or friends. And then once you identify that, you have to deal with it, because if not, you know, you're not going to move forward.
Let me ask you. So, as you mentioned, identifying, right, who the energy drainers, the negative Nancy's, but have you ever tried talking to them about how something like that has made you feel? Have you had any success with that? Like, just because if you go on any article that you click online, how do I deal with negative people? One of the things that comes up is like, hey, talk to the person and address and tell them how you feel. But does that really work in the real world? Do a lot of people really do that? I think probably not. So I'm just wondering, have you ever had a conversation with someone and just express to them like, hey, what you just said to me, that kind of sucks, dude.
Yes.
Okay.
And has it worked so far? No.
Okay.
Some people just, that's who they are. And some of them don't do it intentionally.
That's true.
And they try to bring you down. And you just have to, once you've identified it, you just, express your feelings, and then, which is also really hard. Well,
Yeah.
for different people. Some people are
Yeah. Some people are
don't
straight
have a problem
shooters, man. Yeah.
expressing their feelings.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's really hard, and it's really hurtful too when you realize that this person is constantly bringing me down. And you tell them how you feel, and sometimes it'll make a difference, sometimes it won't. It for me, it's made a difference at that moment, and then it keeps happening.
Yeah. But so I kind of wonder if sometimes, people just are feeling insecure about themselves, or they feel like weirdly, like it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good to kind of put you down, or even if they're not outwardly putting you down by words, but like you can tell when someone looks at you or acts around you if they
Well, a
are
lot of that is
really on the
projecting, like
front,
they're projecting what they're feeling.
projecting. Yep, yep.
A lot of that is that, and some people just don't want to see other people happy.
They're just some
And
people that are mean as hell. That's,
you just
that's
don't need
just,
you don't need those people in your life.
no.
So if you are sitting there reflecting right now, and every single one of your friends is like this, you need new friends.
Yes.
And we can be your new
We
friends.
can be your new friends. We're your new friends. We're here for you.
You do not need people around you like that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's I mean, I feel like that could be an
Because
entirely different
negativity
topic.
it's contagious.
Yes.
You sit around a negative person that long, you'll start being negative, and then everything around you starts crumbling down, and then you wonder why. And it's because you're putting out this bad energy,
Yeah. It's
you
funny you
know?
say that because I remember having, and this was like an old coworker, someone that, and we found, the saying that goes, misery loves company.
Yeah, so
This
true.
person was like, was kind of like known as like the grouchy person of our office. And we ended up bonding over being like these grouchy people, and not me. So I was like, I had to like check myself. I'm like, this is not really me, man. What's going on?
No.
And I notice every single time like they either complain about someone else or they complain about this thing or that thing, and it kind of felt draining to be around them, to be honest. But
I have a friend, when she hears this, she's gonna know it's her, that
we love
um,
you.
no, she knows that I love her. She knows that I love her, but she spirals sometimes into these, like, just everything negative. And sometimes oh my God, I'm exhausted and I don't know why. And then I'm like, then I realize that it's because she's spiraling into everything. She just finds things to be negative about. And then I have to stop and I have to, bring out my fairy wand and tell her, hey, snap out of it. Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about this. You know, you need to change your way of thinking. We need to stop right now and you need to, think happy thoughts.
Think happy
Like,
thoughts.
like Peter Pan, think happy
True.
thoughts.
But you know what?
Because
It's beyond that though. There's a lot of self-work that people have to do to get to that
she
place. But
doesn't
I
do it she doesn't do it intentionally
Sure.
and also like, it's a lot of things that she's going through too. But I have to sometimes just, work on her and be like, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
Stop that right now.
That's a little bit of that tough
Because
love. Tough
I'm
love.
I'm I start feeling drained and I don't know what it is and it's her. She doesn't mean any harm by it. It's just that she doesn't realize that she's doing it.
Yep.
And then she realized when I tell her she'll stop and she'll be like, you're right. You're right, Paula.
No, you're absolutely right. Because I think I've even been in that. I've found myself having to do that. Like I do a lot of self-reflection. And the truth is, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
No.
No one will tell you. No one will tell you that they don't want to hear that. They want to be supportive. Like, of course I want to be supported, hearing my friends, but also let's talk about, okay, I'll give you like 2 minutes and 30 seconds to let you unload, but then we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about how we can fix that or how we can
Yes.
turn that around. Let's talk this through why you're feeling this way. Let's talk it
But
through.
that's good. Once you identify like what
Identifying it.
these negative people or the negative moments, you try to make this change and it leads to more positive relationships and then positive you because you're going to keep succeeding and it's a win-win for everyone and you have to identify them. You have to sit back right now, stop what you're doing, see where you have these energy drainers and take a break from them or try to see why they're being so negative because maybe they've been negative all their lives.
That is
Maybe
true.
they've been draining you forever. Or maybe it's just
Yeah.
the moment they're in now. Maybe they're going through
They're
something
going through something.
and
Yep.
you don't even realize it and you just have to identify it and then, set your boundaries.
There's something to be said about the energy that of the people you keep company with, right? And if someone is constantly just negative or has a mean spirit or something's going on, you feel that. It become you don't realize it, but it subconsciously becomes this thing that's just chipping away at you too. And again, and if you already are someone that might be struggling with like limiting self beliefs, when you hear someone being negative, that I feel like that just sort of adds more, like it kind of confirms these negative self beliefs, right? Like, oh, they might be right. Maybe I'm wasting my time doing this thing that I really want to do. So in terms of the impact it has, I mean, yeah, it has a ripple effect. Yeah, it can leave,
Sorry.
it can leave you feeling self-doubt and make you, hard to pursue your goals and to want to stick with what you're doing or even just question everything that you're doing altogether.
Yeah. And that's why sometimes it takes you so long to get to your goals or sometimes you forget about them and you start something else because this person put all this negativity in your head and you're starting to believe it. I mean, I love feedback and constructive criticism and I didn't always love it,
Sure.
but I've grown now to love it and it's really important for me. I think in order to grow in your career or even your personal life, you sometimes need some good feedback. And sometimes you're getting this feedback from the wrong people. And then you start believing all this. So that's why it's so important to identify these negative people, these energy vampires,
Yeah.
because
True.
you start believing all this. You start feeding into this energy. And then it's so hard to get out of it. It's so hard because some of these people are really close to you.
That's the
You live
hardest
with
part, in
them.
my opinion. It makes me feel a little guilty. Maybe that's not, like you're supposed to love your friends almost like family, like, through the good and the bad. I've come to realize that that's not always a very mature
Not healthy.
and healthy way to go
It's
about
not
it.
healthy.
I think you can still love your friends. You can still appreciate your
Yeah.
friends from afar.
That's why you have to distance yourself from them.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's especially if it's family member, you can't cut them out completely, but you don't call them every day if that's what you were doing before. Maybe every other day, or don't, if you do talk to them, don't share what you're doing, because then they start with that negative conversations, and it just it drains you. Remember your why you're doing what you're doing, why you're making this change, or you're going on this new path. Remember your why, and remember, do the positive self-talk, do whatever, like, I do my happy playlist.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to stop and listen to my happy playlist, or go through, your affirmations. Sit there and whatever works for you. Like, some people have different things that work for them. I like my happy music.
Well, life is not just all happiness here, 24/7. But if you want to stay on the course of your goals, if you want to stay on the course of something that's truly important to you, you have to lean on that. You have to like dig inside and look at your why, everything that exactly what you just said, Paula, your why, like practice your positive self-talk and sort of, dip into your little folder of affirmations or listen to your happy songs, like put you back in a good place where you're free from that negative self-talk and also the negative friends and the negative energy altogether.
Yeah, and then find people that maybe that are not positive all the time, but that you actually that have that good energy, that you can pick up the phone and talk to, and all of a sudden you feel energized. Find that group of people.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, I,
Building a support system is has been very important in a lot of what I've done in just recent years. It's just sort of I've worked very hard to cultivate a really solid group of, I call my core group of amazing ladies, friends, who are, I know that I can lean on them and have those kind of important conversations without, and I know that every time I talk to them, it's not them trying to talk me out of doing or achieving anything. It's more of them, one, listening, which I think is
Yep.
super important. Most people, even half the time, all you have to do is listen, right? You don't even have to give your 2 cents about anything. You just have to sit there and listen.
Yeah.
Be an empathetic listener. So even just that alone, if most people can do that, oh my gosh, it would make the world a better place, right?
Definitely. Sometimes you just, and then, I mean, I know who like who I can share certain things with, because I know that they're going to have something strong to say afterwards. And then I know that there's some people that won't, that will just listen. If you ask me for advice, I'll tell
That's
you, but I will listen to you. I will have my opinion on the matter
sure.
in my brain, but I won't tell you, because, it's, unless you want the advice, and everybody's different. Like, especially, like, we go through different things. I'm going to give you my advice from my perspective, but it's probably not going to work for you. So that's why I don't give my advice unless you ask me for it. And then I tell you, well, from my point of view, because it's everybody's is different, and they're going through different things. And even if we went through a similar situation,
It's still
I
different.
could understand you. I could definitely understand you, but it won't be the same. So sometimes, take advice with a grain of salt, people.
That's right. That's right. So I had a friend of mine like just, reach out to me by email, and here's what she wrote. She goes, I've been working on my health. I joined the gym and I have been on a weight loss journey to feel and look better. I have friends tell me that I'm starting to look too skinny and that I shouldn't lose any more weight because I look sick. All my life, I've struggled with my weight, and finally, I feel like I'm in a good place where I'm crushing my goals in a healthy way. I've been friends with this one particular person for a while, but now I'm seriously considering if I should even be friends with them. What should I do? I've definitely been in this journey before where, I've fluctuated weight and all that. Some of those negative comments come in about my appearance, or like, you're getting to this or you're getting to that, and it is triggering. It's annoying. It doesn't feel like it comes from a place of love, but I would say that for this person, it sounds like, you're putting a lot of hard work on your health journey, and that's fantastic. And it's completely understandable that to feel discouraged when friends comment on your appearance in a negative way, especially when you're feeling good about yourself. Here are some things that maybe you might want to consider. So, and this might sound risky, and this is something that, Paula, you and I, we just mentioned, is like, try to have an honest conversation with that friend, and tell them how, that comment or what they're saying makes you feel, especially because you are working towards a specific goal. And if your goal is much more than superficial, and you're doing it because maybe you want to get you struggle with your health and you want to have better blood markers or whatever, like, really get down to the reason of why you're doing what you're doing. And maybe that'll help them realize that their words have a negative impact. I would also say that maybe, focus on your own health and well-being. I mean, that's just bottom line. Who cares what anybody else thinks? This is your own goal. This is for you. Ultimately, you're doing this for yourself. You gotta celebrate your achievements and surround yourself, again, going back to what we talked about, Paula, that support system, like the people who really are going to encourage your journey. And then remember, friendship is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-way street. If your friend consistently brings negativity to your life, you know what? It might be time to reevaluate that friendship.
Yeah, because maybe, you tell them how you feel, and yeah, maybe they didn't realize that they were having a negative impact on you. But maybe they will hold their ground and tell you, no, what I said is true.
Well,
You look terrible, or
yeah,
you're getting too thin, and you don't need that kind
no,
of negativity.
you don't.
Um,
You don't.
maybe they are projecting.
Maybe they're projecting. Maybe they're seeing something that, and that is very, and pretty much that's it. Exactly. It could be in the place where they're not happy with themselves and they're just exactly projecting, you know?
And if it doesn't work, remember, you're doing a great job. You're getting healthy.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You're doing this for you, and whatever with what they have to say.
Yep. And then we had another message, and I'll read this and then I'm going to let you weigh in on that if that's cool. This came from a friend. I am 48 years old, and in my mind and in my heart, I feel younger. I want to become a content creator on social media and create a channel dedicated to my passion, which is fashion. I've been stuck in a job that I don't love out of pure obligation for getting a paycheck. I shared my idea with a close relative, and they kind of rolled their eyes at me and said that being a content creator is for young people. Ooh. Basically said I shouldn't put all my chips in that bag. So now I am stuck and I'm questioning whether they're right or wrong. Help. I don't know what to do.
It's inspiring that you want to pursue your passion for fashion at 48. I'm going through different changes and different goals that at my age might seem a little bit unrealistic. And yeah, I've had negative talk from myself mostly, and then from other people around me that are close. And their comments might be out of their own fears. Like I said, like we talked about earlier, it could be just them projecting. But you can't let their perspective hold you back. There are countless successful content creators of all ages. I follow
Who are some of your favorites?
these follow that I absolutely love. It's called The Silver Lining.
Ooh, the silk.
underscore 1970. And she's a 53-year-old um, Australian model. And if you have your phone there, you
I
can
sure
look.
do. I'm looking right
Yeah.
now.
Well, first of all,
Oh,
she's absolutely beautiful.
wow.
But she's,
Hello?
she's very big on showing like
Mm-hmm.
you can, be beautiful at any age and you can wear whatever the hell you want and you could do whatever the hell you want because age doesn't matter.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, there are a lot of, I mean, now that I like, it's funny, now I'm going on my Instagram feed and I can see all the people that I follow. Like, there's definitely, like, the market is open now for anyone to be a content creator. I think if you have a voice, if you have something to offer to the world, I believe everyone has something to offer to the world. You just have to, you work on that. But like, it's unfortunate that people think that social media is just for young people.
You're representing,
Yeah,
40-year-olds
yeah,
and well, close to 50. Yeah, you're representing 48-year-olds
yeah,
and
absolutely.
you're representing a demographic that might be looking to find people on social media that want to change maybe in their
Hmm.
wardrobe or whatever it is that you're going to create.
Leave your mark on the world. Go out there and take those pictures and put your mark out there. You never
Yeah,
know.
I'm interested in seeing these
Yeah, me too.
this fashion.
I think it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great idea, and I think that whoever's telling you this is probably projecting or they're just really unhappy in their life or they don't want to see you happy. And I think that, if it's in your heart to do this, then you should do it. And if you need a cheerleader or two cheerleaders, we are here.
That's right. Two for the price of one. I've
Stuck.
heard
Oh,
that.
being stuck. I know that feeling. And, she says now that she's stuck, don't be stuck. Get unstuck. Come on. You can do this. We need 48-year-old content creators.
Yes, we do.
So stick to it. You can do it one day at a time. Celebrate your small wins. Remember your why.
Yep.
You got this.
You've got this. We hope this little chat helped empower you and to kind of put you on a little bit more of a positive headspace because I know it's not easy out there whenever, as you're as someone trying to start new in life and trying to do big things in life. If it's something that's a little bit more deeper than that, then it's probably worth addressing maybe with a professional. I mean, it's something that we don't talk about enough, that sometimes some of this stuff, if you're feeling like you're not getting out of that cloud of negativity and it's really weighing you down, it's definitely worth exploring, seeking professional help,
Counselor. Yeah.
a counselor,
Which
someone
is
that you
so,
can talk to. Hmm.
but remember, you deserve to be surrounded by those who respect and encourage you at any time, at any journey that you're going through.
Yep. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Keep
And
away, keep
stay
away.
away from these energy drainers. And sometimes it's really sad because you identify them and they're people that you really care
Yeah,
about, and it, it it's sad, and then you get stuck. But
yeah,
identify them and
that's right.
um, stand your ground.
Stand your ground. I like that. I like that. Stand your ground.
Yeah, stay focused, people. Stay on
Stay
track.
focused. Stay on track.
You
And
can
of course,
do this.
you can do this. And of course, we want to hear from everyone. Let us know, what are you dealing with out there? And let's talk about it.
We'll be your cheerleaders.
Always. Bye, everyone.
Bye.